3、2、1。
Mic check 1 2. What to do? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word the People's Champ. Today we're talking about the Colorado Buffaloes and their upcoming game against the Arizona State University Sun Devils. But before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and when the video's over, go ahead and drop a comment. Go watch some other videos and drop some comments on them videos too. Tell us what y'all think about this channel. You heard me? So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're talking about Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh, Travis Hunter, the tight end Harrison. We're talking about everybody, man. Cormani McClain. We're going to talk about these Buffaloes in this upcoming game and what it means to their season. So, in order to become bowl eligible in the NCAA, you need to win at least 6 games. Colorado has 3 of the 6. Of their 12-game schedule, they've only played 5 games. So they've got 7 games remaining to win at least 3. In my estimation, they're going to win 6 or 7 games at least, and they'll be competitive in a couple of others, though they'll come up a little bit short. So they've already beaten Nebraska, TCU, as well as Colorado State, but they've lost to Oregon and USC. So these are 2 ranked teams that they've been building. Think about Lincoln Riley. He's in his second year as USC. He had a nice little team at Oklahoma, and he brought a lot of that team with him over to the West Coast. So they already had like a 1 to 2 year head start on Colorado. So you expected them to be dominant. Oregon, they've been building this program for years and years, and they're funded by a guy who's willing to dump money into the program that's going to bring in more recruits because of great facilities. They're going to be able to pay the best coaches, and their NIL program is going to look really good. Deion is playing a little bit of catch up over there in Colorado, and it's kind of showing up on the field when you look at the trenches and stuff like that. He just hasn't got the big boys in there. Okay, so let's talk about this week's opponent, Arizona State, and why I think Colorado is going to take this game by the horns, and it's not even going to be close. I mean, the truth of the matter is Colorado's just the overall better team. Arizona State's coming in 1-4. They're at home, so they're hosting this game, but they're 1-4. And they just don't have a lot of areas that are better than Colorado at all. And think about how much better Colorado has gotten just since last season. Right now, they're averaging 34.2 points a game with 440 yards of offense. Last year, they were at 15.4 with 281.3. So they've tripled or nearly tripled their points. And they've gone up almost 200 yards per game in offense. That's very good. Defensively, they're rock solid. The problem is probably going to be defense because they've given up 36.2 points a game. So that's not going to win you a ton of games. And then they've allowed 480. Now, they do lead in the top in the nation in turnovers and takeaways. There's 12. And that's big because if you could create extra opportunities for a guy like Shedeur, he's going to get you points at some point in the show up against USC. Special teams is another area of concern. Right now on field goals, they are 6 of 9. So they've missed 3 field goals and all of them were blocked. They've also had 2 punts blocked. So my issue is going to be, can they be disciplined on special teams, and then can they convert everything to points? Now, what I do like is they're the only team in the nation who's perfect in the red zone. So if they can get down there, actually there's 6 other teams, but they're like the only Pac-12 team, but they're perfect in the red zone. 17-17, 12 touchdowns, 5 field goals, and their opponents are 15-22. So they've stopped their opponents 7 times. So this is big, and they've converted 5 turnovers in the red zone as well. So that means that they know how to apply pressure when it's there. Shedeur Sanders is a big deal. He's approaching 2,000 yards. He just needs 200 yards to get that number, and that'll be the first time since 2019 for Colorado. So when you start to pile these things up against a less than stellar team in Arizona State, this victory favors Colorado, and I do believe that, or this game favors Colorado, and I do believe they'll pull off a victory. And I think that for the most part, they're going to win it going away. Now, they're only like a 3-point favorite, but I don't think they're going to play down to this competition because they're coming off a couple losses. And one thing I can give Deion credit for, he's a hell of a motivator. He knows how to get his team fired up. And they were fired up for USC. They're fired up for Oregon. It's just 9 times out of 10, better talent is going to win, especially if you got a good coach and a good game plan. And they definitely portrayed that on Saturday and the previous week. This week, Deion's the better team. I don't know necessarily that it's the better coaching staff, but the talent gap is so big, it's not going to be a pretty game. And I think they're going to get started early. The unfortunate truth about this team is that they average like 3.8 points or 3.8 yards per play in the first quarter. And then they average 6.8 for every quarter after, including overtime. So they've got to improve that and start fast and get over these first quarter woes, because if they can fix that and they can put up 7 to 14 points every first quarter for the rest of the year, they're going to be in some very competitive games with Arizona, Utah, and the likes of that, UCLA within this Pac-12 conference. And they might see USC again, or maybe, they'll sneak up on Oregon or something like that. We'll see. But anyway, let me know what you think about this particular game. Who are you predicting? What's the final score in your head? I'm predicting a big win for Colorado to get back in the dub column and get to 4-2. We'll see how it goes. So drop your thoughts in the comments. This has been T. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.